Hello, welcome to the Pedestal White Society. My name is Pearl, and today we're going to be talking about women are resource multipliers. Whatever a woman is given, she can make it greater. Women receive, then she nurtures it, and then she multiplies it. When a woman receives a house, she nurtures it, then it becomes a home. When a woman receives sperm, she nurtures it, then it becomes a baby. So today I want to talk about multiplying resources because women are resource multipliers, but doing it for themselves. So we're going to be a little bit more, therefore, should I say, selfish in this conversation because women are leaking energy and therefore nurturing their loved ones and nurturing people who are not deserving of it and allowing their energy to be used to multiply others' resources. But a lot of times we're not able to do that for ourselves. So I want to talk about the power of nurturing, which we do essentially as a woman. Then I want to talk about the power of creativity and multiplying our own resources for our own gain. Women use the power of nurture to multiply for others. There's another power that women can use that is creativity. The power of creativity can lead women to multiply their own resources. I think I talked about this in another video and everybody was interested in that video. So that's this conversation. So let's talk about multiplying your own resources through your own creativity. Personally, the way that I'm able to accomplish that is I go to the divine and I tap into my creativity and follow the inspired actions and intuition in order to multiply my resources. Women all have this ability. The thing is, we have to absolutely pull away from society's mentality that women have to look at just facts and logic. See, when men go out here and try to solve a problem, they look at facts and logics in order to do so. When a woman who's tapping her creativity, she look at the unlimited possibilities. And that is how she's able to multiply her current resources. When women can practice mindfulness, intuition, and creativity and follow the inspired actions, that leads to creative ideas and thoughts. And I see this happening all over social media. I see women tap into their own creativity and multiplying their current. That is where you see women who are like, oh, I have these 3 ingredients for a meal, but I don't know what to do. This is another way of multiplying your resources, multiplying the current stuff that you have in order to create more for the people that you care for. Women do this naturally, but a lot of times we're not aware that we're doing this. And this video, I want to bring awareness to it because the more that you understand the power of being a woman and how creativity is in your vein, is in your soul, it's in your very being, you can utilize that creativity to make $5 into 500. You can utilize that creativity to have more when you have less. And that is that's an aspect of being a woman and standing within her power. And I've had to experience that myself. I have not always been married. Okay. I know I've been married a long time. Most of you have been following me for a while. You know I've been married for a long time. But there was a point in life when I wasn't married, when I had to absolutely tap into the resources that I had by utilizing my creativity. So I had to, when I wanted something, I did not have enough. I had to go into my creativity and come about the unlimited possibilities of creative ideas and follow the intuitive nudges, basically epiphanies, the light bulb moments, the insight that you have, the knowing. And that was able to multiply my current resources. So yes, I've been there where I didn't have enough to eat, where I've been there where I didn't have enough to pay my bills. And I had to lean into my own creativity, into my own feminine power to be able to make a way out of no way. And all of us have this because we naturally do this for others. That is the power of nurturing. That is what I mean by women leak energy. You're leaking energy and helping others to make their way in life and to be successful. And you're not even aware of that you're leaking that energy because that's the power of nurturing. That's the reason why men will never leave women alone, because women exude such an energy that they're able to eat off of. They're able to take that energy, build themselves up, complete their dreams, go after everything they desire in this life. So they're never going to leave women alone. But women need to understand the power of women and the power that you hold. So that instead of you leaking your energy to people who don't deserve it, you utilize your energy for yourself and the ones that love you, the ones that care for you, that ones that pour into you, that ones that give back to you. Women are naturally resource multipliers. This is something that we receive in. Anything that a woman receives, she just nurtures it. And then she gives it back and it's multiplied. And you can utilize this for yourself. Don't just leak energy and give this basic superpower to other people easily. Some of you probably have helped people, helped nurture other people's dreams and giving it back to them. And they were able to go out here and reach heights that they never even thought they could reach. But you weren't aware that you were doing that. You weren't aware that you were giving them encouragement, support, and inspiring them to keep going. And you need to make sure you carry some of that for yourself, because women are natural resource multipliers. But you need to learn how to multiply your current resources. So you're nurturing and caring for others, but never forget to care for yourself. Never forget to give back to you as a woman. So there's two aspects, two things that women have that make them resource multipliers. That is one, nurturing. Nurturing is one of the most powerful energy in the world. Just having that person that you can lean on, that gives you encouragement and support, that inspires you to keep moving, that is a superpower that women don't even recognize. They give that away easily and freely. That is the reason why I say women leak energy. The second thing is creativity. Being able to tap into your creativity and understanding what creativity is. Because dare should I say, at one point, I didn't think I had any creativity. Of course, I know better now. But back then, when I was young, I didn't understand what creativity could be. I didn't understand that creativity goes beyond the arts. It goes beyond singing, dancing, drawing. It goes beyond that. You need to expand what you think creativity is so you can tap into it, because you don't even understand just being able to take a problem and come up with unlimited possibilities and unlimited solutions. That is creativity. That is another form of creativity that you need to acknowledge as a woman. Some women can take a problem and they can break it down in multiple ways and unlimited possibilities, and they don't think there's nothing to that. They don't understand that that is a superpower that some people don't have. Some people can't even break down one solution to the problem. One solution to the problem. And here you are able to tap into your creativity and see unlimited possibilities and be able to pick the right things, the right creative ideals in order to solve your issue. Women are resource multipliers. They do this with men. They can do this for themselves. I just want women to understand the power of woman and what you bring and what you have that's inside of you. There's a layer of creativity that if you were to tap into it, you would get the inspired actions, the intuition, the intuitive nudge, the light bulb moments, the epiphanies to be able to take care of that situation, maybe even multiply, solve whatever needs to be done. A woman has that power within her. She just has an understanding of what it is. But women are resource multipliers. The thing is, you have to absolutely tap into those two powers that you hold. You hold the power of nurturing. You hold the power of creativity. You have to tap into those powers to be able to multiply your resources. When a woman is tapped in and tapped into the divine, tapped into the feminine energy, tapped into self, she can multiply all resources around her. She can take when she has less and make more. Scrolling on, that's one of the reasons I love the internet, because looking and scrolling on social media, sometimes you run across some wonderful stories. You run across women talking about them being tapped in and being creative and being able to take something that seems impossible and make it possible because they had an idea that no one else had. And that's absolutely a sign of creativity. Being able to create content is a creativity. Going in and creating programs is creativity. Going in and consulting is actually creativity. Being able to live outside of the box, around the box, beside the box is creativity. But you have to recognize what that creativity is. You have to tap into that creativity. And what I have found to be very helpful is being very mindful. Instead of constantly thinking about your past or your future, just being in the present moment and tapping in can help you tap into your creativity so that you'll have the inspired actions, the epiphanies, the light bulb moments, so that you'll get an idea of what's next, what you need to do. Because being able to tap into creativity is not just magic. It's not just you just having a creative idea and then everything kind of aligns. There's some inspired actions that you have to take once you tap into your creativity. So for instance, if when I had the mentality, I had the inspiration that, hey, it's time for me to create multiple streams of income. And I knew that I didn't ever want to go to work to create that multiple streams of income. I knew that I wanted to do it in a way where I was able to utilize my gifts, where I was able to serve my community, where I was able to assist women. And so when I tapped into the divine and I tapped into my own creativity, I was given creative ideas. And when I got those creative ideas, I had to follow the inspired actions. And sometimes the inspired actions come as an epiphany, where you get a light bulb moment, where you get a download, where you get insight, or just a knowing. And you follow that. And that's where you're going to bring that creative idea to fruition, to reality. But you have this skill also, but you have to tap into the power of creativity, the power of nurturing, which most women have already tapped into the power of nurturing. Most of us are nurturing others' dreams, and sometimes we forget our own. So we are nurturing their dreams and helping them to reach different heights they never even dreamed of. We're helping them to be able to go in the distance to keep following their dream or chasing their dream. So we're nurturing others. This is something I feel like women do naturally. Women naturally nurture others. We take whatever they give us in, and then we nurture it and we multiply it so that they can continue on whatever they're trying to accomplish. But the power of creativity is something I think every woman needs to tap into, especially if you want to be a multiplier for self, because you're already naturally doing the multiplying for others through your nurturing, through receiving that nurturing, receiving that thing from them and nurturing it and giving it back to them. So you're already doing that. But we have to learn how to multiply our current resources, and that's through creativity. That is how you're going to get these knowings, inspired actions. This is how you're going to get those creative ideas. All you have to do is follow them. And that's what I found out when I said I wanted to have multiple streams of income. And by the way, I will never have a financial channel because I am a risk taker, a risky investor per se. And so I don't ever want to be behind anyone losing anything. But that is how I was able to create different streams of income, because I knew I didn't want to go out here and work by the sweat of my brow. I knew I didn't want to have to put in, go to an 8 to 5. I knew that was not going to be the way that I was going to be able to multiply my resources and create different streams of income. So I went to the divine personally. You can just tap into your creativity. You don't have to go to the divine if you don't believe in any of that. But you can tap into your creativity through meditation, through prayer, through breath work, in order to connect with self, to kind of get that inkling of what is next or what you need to accomplish in order to multiply your resources and create that multiple streams of income, if that's something you desire. Because that's not what everybody desires. I'm just giving an example of how I've been able to utilize it, how I've been able to utilize my own power of my creativity to create multiple streams of income by tapping into the divine and following the inspired actions. So when I would get the downloads or inspired actions or epiphanies or light bulb moments, I wouldn't even question it. I would just do, because I am not a social media person. Far from it. This is the first platform I've ever had, and I'm 40-something years old, because I've never desired social media. I've never been even a Facebook person. I have it, but I've never been active on it. So when I got that download that this would be a good way to connect and be a service in my community and also give my wisdom in this type of space, I was reluctant, but I still did it anyway. And it still became a way of opening up a resource for me. So when all I did, I was like, hey, I went to the divine. To me, it's God. I went to God and said, hey, I really want to have multiple streams of income, but I do not desire a 9 to 5. I do not desire getting it by the sweat of my brow. I do not desire by getting it through hard work. And I just remained open to receive that download, those inspired actions, and those creative ideas. And so when I received them, I nurtured them, and I decided to put forth the action of inspired action that's required to have them in my life. And so that is how I was able to create multiple streams of income. Because, I normally don't talk about money because I think it's, taboo. I was raised that way, so I don't talk about money. But I would say when it comes to streams of income, I've been able to create, since that epiphany hit me about 6 years ago, I've been able to create 4 streams of income, and currently I'm on my 5th stream of income. But that came through creative ideas. If I wasn't tapping into my creativity, I wouldn't have been able to create those multiple streams of income, because none of them are 9 to 5s. None of them are hard work. None of them are from the sweat of my brow. All of them are from my gifts, my natural gifts that I ignored or didn't consider to be a gift. And that is how I was able to create that stream of income. Women are natural resource multipliers when they start tapping into their creativity. Instead of looking at things through facts and logic, look at it through the power of creativity and see the possibilities. And not only when you see the possibilities, decide to follow the inspired actions, because that's the kicker. Nothing is magic. It's all about following our natural gift of intuition and allowing our creativity to take us to new heights and new ideas. And when you do that, you will find you're going to be able to create something for yourself that you never imagined that you can have. Because essentially, I am a housewife. I'm a housewife and have been with majority of my marriage. Yes, I worked. I have a degree in education, but majority of my marriage, I've been a housewife. I was only a teacher for 3 years. So women are resource multipliers. Hey, Daisy B. Women receive it just like and this is something that we do all over anyway. It's something natural that we do. Women kind of take on the energy of the world. We take the hit. We take it hard. And what happens is when we take all that in and we forget to give something back to ourselves, this is the reason why women can feel as though that they have been taken advantage of, or they're not receiving what they desire out of this life. And I want you to understand the power of woman, the power that's within you that you hold as a woman, and understand you have this beautiful ability to multiply resources. This is the reason why men will never leave women alone. They're always going to be around. A man will always be around because he understands that he can harvest the energy of woman, take that energy, build himself up, and utilize that energy to create the foundation for him to go after his dreams and accomplish things that he never even thought he could accomplish. I just want women to understand the power of woman so that they can utilize some of that for themselves. So you don't have to worry about someone else doing that for you because you already have that power within you. I want women to unlock that. Yes, the power of nurturing is very important in this world. And you're already leaking that energy. Just going about nurturing people who have no care for you. And they're not giving anything back to you. You're not receiving anything back from those people. So you're already leaking that energy. I want you to have the understanding of that energy so you can utilize it for yourself. When a woman receives a home, she will nurture that home until it's a house. When a woman receives sperm, she will nurture that sperm until it is a baby. Women receive, then they nurture it, and then they multiply it. I want women to understand that you don't just have to do that for others and your loved ones. You can do that for yourself. You can utilize that energy for yourself, and you can create. If you want multiple streams of income, you can create multiple streams of income. If you want to become better, you can do so. If you want to do anything, accomplish anything that you have a power within you that will grant you unlimited possibilities. But you have to be able to tap in to the divine, tap into self, tap into intuition, creativity, and mindfulness. When you're able to do that, the sky is the limit. Therefore, I'm going to say the sky is not the limit, because there's limits beyond the sky. For a woman, you already do this naturally, and you've probably done it for others. You probably can point out at least one or two other people that you have nurtured and multiplied the resources they had, and then you wondered why you're not able to do that for yourself. Why is everybody that you come in contact, they're able to up-level their lives, accomplish their goals, and live their dreams? But what about you? What about you? Because we are taught naturally about nurturing. It's in the conversations of the golden rule of treating people well, of caring about people, of giving them consideration. So nurturing we do naturally, but creativity isn't something that's taught. It's something that you have to tap into. Because at one point, and I talked about this in my Co-Creator Mastermind, I never thought I was creative. I used to think I can't sing, I can't dance, I can't draw, I can't do anything creative, because my mind thought the creative was arts. And if you couldn't do those things, you weren't creative. It took me tapping into my creativity and tapping into the divine for me to realize that creativity, there's so many unlimited possibilities and ways of creativity. There's some things you think that aren't creative. Even the way you go about solving your problems can be very creative. Sometimes you're thinking outside of the box to get something done. That's creativity. But you don't recognize it because this world doesn't honor creativity. That's the reason why the world doesn't honor the arts. Me as a former teacher, I already know that they keep cutting the budget for the arts. So our kids are not getting that connection of creativity that they deserve in order to be able to create a life that they want. You have to introduce the creativity to them as a parent, because the arts programs are being cut in school. They don't give a lot of time for kids to just dream, for kids to experiment, for kids to just be. They say, hey, here's a schedule. Follow this schedule. Make things happen. And they give no time. That's one of the reasons why I got out, because they took out creativity, and that's the reason I went in, so that I can be creative and I can connect with kids on a whole nother level. But you have to expand your mind on what you consider to be creative. You have to expand your thinking on when it comes to creativity. Most of us who can't sing, can't hold, can't dance, can't draw, we don't think we're creative, because society has told us that's the only way you can be creative. It's the arts. But I'm telling you now, you have the power of creativity within you. And through that power of creativity, you can go and create and multiply your current resources. You don't have to sit back and live on less when you have the power of creativity. If you were to tap into self and get away from all these distractions, because everything is a distraction. Television is a distraction. Social media is a distraction. All of these distractions are keeping you away from your creativity. The more that you spend time with self, the more creative you will be. There's creativity in solitude. And when you tap into that, you will get these downloads of creative ideals. and intuition will be activated. So you'll get intuitive nudges and inspired action. Inspired action is just, you'll get a knowing that you have to go somewhere, do something, say something, be something, and all you have to do is follow it. And you will be able to create the thing that you're after, or create the thing that you're looking for. That has been my experience. That's the reason why I'm able to create that 4 streams of income. And 2 of them are not on social media, because I don't believe in having all your eggs in one basket. That is also a reason why men love being around women, because they are resource multipliers. They know that if they can get an unexpected woman, a woman who doesn't understand the power of being a woman, she will leak energy and give him energy that he is not deserving of. Then he can take that energy and he can go out here and build the life that he desires for himself. He can go out here and chase his dreams, accomplish the unaccomplishable, and do the things that he wants with his life. So women are resource multipliers. My goal here is for women to understand the power of a woman, and for you to understand that you can multiply the resources that you currently have. You don't have to just do it for others, because you've been doing it for others, and you've been doing it unknowingly in so many different situations. Someone came to you and they had an idea, you nurtured it, and you were able to come up with creative ideas, and you gave that to them and they ran off with it. That is the reason why men keep women close, because they know that she's going to be able to see something in a way that he will not. See, men are looking at things from facts, logics, and what's in front of them. Women are looking at the unseen and the possibilities, the creativity. And so having a woman that is tapped in that way, she will always be a resource for men. Because women are resource multipliers. When we receive something, we nurture it and we multiply it and make it more. I just want women to have an understanding of how to do that for themselves. You can stop just leaking energy. There's nothing wrong with helping other people. There's nothing wrong with nurturing and giving care and consideration to your loved ones and seeing them grow and become better. But when you're not able or unwillingly or don't know how to do that for yourself, you need to take a step back and pour into yourself so you can tap into your own creativity and multiply your current resources, or multiply for yourself so that you can have more. Interesting, gift, ridiculous, yep. Absolutely. And I'm thinking that comment is coming from when I say they're taking away the arts. They are, because they don't value creativity. Think about it like this. The way society moves, they don't want you thinking outside of the box. Because if you don't think outside the box, you get to be an employee forever. You get to be a follower forever. You get to be a person that they can tell and give directions to. Creativity is what gets you out of that box, what gets you into another lane of creating things for yourself. So if you take away the arts, you take away the ability to dream, you take away the ability to think of unlimited possibilities, then all you have is a follower. All you have is someone who's stuck in a box. And so that's why it's so important that you give that back to your children as parents. You allow them to be a part of the arts, even if you're not a part of the arts. I'm not a part of the arts. I just understand what it does for the mind, what it does for the soul, what it does for women, having the understanding of creativity and the power that it holds. But women are resource multipliers. If you give a woman anything, she will nurture it, multiply it, and give it back to you tenfold. Women just have to learn how to give that back to themselves. Taking the time to be creative and tapping into your own creativity is what's going to allow you to be able to multiply your own current resources or be able to have unlimited possibilities for your own life. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open up a chat for questions. If you have anything you want to add to this conversation, go ahead and jump in the chat. I don't bite. I love having conversation. Women have always been resource multipliers. Women have always been able to receive something, nurture it, and give it back tenfold. That is the reason why you're always going to have a man around. Men are always going to be in the vicinity of a woman. That's the reason why they can't give up women anyway, because they utilize that energy to build their life. They utilize the energy to accomplish their dreams and go after the things that they want. And it's not, I'm not saying it's a bad thing or a good thing. I'm just stating the facts of the reason why men will always be around women. Because women are resource multipliers. That's the reason why you will, if you're around men who absolutely know the understanding and the power of women, they will tell you that they were able to accomplish the thing they did because they had an encouraging, supportive woman. And it may have been their mother, but it was a woman, therefore, and she is the reason why he is where he is. Because it's not enough just to do the hard work. You can go out here and get somebody to sweat your brow, but think about the people who encourage you and how much you appreciate it. Someone just pouring into you and giving you the encouragement that you can do it or you can accomplish a thing. How good that felt, how it helped you to get to that last mile. That is a power in itself that women don't recognize. That is powerful, that women have. The power of nurturing, of caring, and considering others. That is a power in itself. And through that, she's able to multiply resources. Through the power of creativity, she's able to multiply resources. Because once she receives a problem, she has unlimited creative ideas on how to take care of that issue. Why do women help others so much, but not themselves? Well, I'm going to say it's the golden rule. A lot of us was raised on the golden rule that we must, help others and take care of them. And sometimes the golden rule negated to tell you that you have to have boundaries, that you should make sure that you're not helping them and not receiving anything back, because you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't pour from an empty cup. So a woman can become empty at some point. If she continues to receive and nurture and multiply for others, and that keeps happening over and over and over, and she receives nothing back, she starts to feel used. She starts to feel empty. So women need to have that as a standard for themselves, and not only a standard, but also a boundary that she won't allow herself to get empty. But I'm going to therefore say that we've been conditioned as women to give to others. And that's the reason why I think a lot of women are more interested in how can I help others? How can I multiply their resources? And they don't kind of think about themselves. That's the reason why I call it leaking energy, because women will, you've ever been somewhere, even when you're out and about, you ask a woman a question, she's immediately trying to help you. And there's nothing wrong with helping another person. Okay, I'm not saying it's wrong to help. I am seeing women, going along with what Jazz is saying, that women tend to help others but not help themselves. That's the reason why even when it comes down to nurturing, women will learn more about how the power of nurturing, how to utilize it so that they can help a man or help their kids versus helping themselves. Because we've been conditioned to help others first, that you are a good woman if you help other people and you go to empty helping other people, versus if you help yourself, you're considered to be selfish. Trust me, I know. I've been down this path. People considered me selfish for a very long time until we started having this revolution. And that's what I'm calling it, where women started realizing if I keep helping other people, there's nothing left for me. That I cannot give to others if I have not given to myself. Because I was considered to be selfish a long time for my thinking. True. Then they try to shame and call women narcissists for putting themselves first. Yes. They don't understand. You know what? There's a beautiful thing that happens in this world. I can care for you and I can care for me. I can do more than one thing at a time. It's not all or nothing. A lot of people are still with that mentality. It's all or nothing. Either I'm going to give it all, and that's the only way I'm going to show that I care about you. Now, I understand that I can give to you, but it has my giving has boundaries. Because I refuse to go empty. Because when women go empty, they feel used and they pull away from society. If you don't, you can probably look around and see there's a lot of women are starting to feel empty. They're starting to feel like they're not getting anything in return. That is very true. And I see so much labeling of women who put themselves first. Yeah, when you put yourself first, you will be called selfish. Okay? You will be called mean. You may be called a variety of names because you put yourself first. When I put myself first doesn't mean I can't include you. It just means I'm going to put myself first to the point where I'm not going empty, because I cannot pour from an empty cup. I can't give you something I don't have. And a lot of people have been taught in order to be a good woman that you have to give it all away, that you have to get to empty. And that is a good woman. But that's a tired woman. That's an exhausted woman. That's an empty woman. That's not a woman who has creativity in her veins. Because how creative can you be when you're tired, when you're empty? How creative can you be when you don't have anything to give? Women need more rest because we are resource multipliers. They need to take care of themselves because we are resource multipliers. Women literally drive the economy. We are resource multipliers. Do you know that the economy is kind of set by what women purchase and get for their families? Women are resource multipliers. Some people would say, oh, that's consumerism. But we drive the economy. We make sure that we set what is being purchased and what's not being purchased. Meanwhile, they were winning and we were tired and bitter. Yes, absolutely. But women are resource multipliers. I just want women to understand the power of women and the power that you hold within yourself. You have the power of creativity. That creativity can literally create new ideas and unlimited possibilities for your life. You don't have to be stuck anywhere. No woman has to be stuck anywhere. No woman has to just take what she's given. No woman has to be given less. You can make a decision today. Tap into your creativity, and instead of being given less, you can start being given more. Women drive life. The birth rate is so low, we're tired. Women are tired. That is the reason why the birth rate is so low. Women are tired. They're starting to wake up to what they're losing out on. Because I can honestly say, me being a stay-at-home mom and wife for the majority of my marriage has really had me tapped into my creativity. That's another reason why I do trust my intuition, because I was, allowed to rest and be in flow and be in my feminine energy, where I can just follow those inspired actions. See, a woman who's kind of stuck and she's constantly overworking herself and constantly doesn't see a way out, it's hard to be creative in that situation. It's hard to really sit still and sit down somewhere and tap into your own creativity to figure out unlimited possibilities and ways out when you're overwhelmed and burdened. And so I can vouch for being a stay-at-home mother and wife that I'm really tapped in my creativity. When I look at a problem, I see unlimited possibilities. I don't see one way to solve anything. I see multiple ways to get things done. And that's because I am tapped into divine and creativity and the power that that holds alone. But it does come from me being in rest, in flow. And even though people complain about me not doing videos consistently and not being a content creator that you can count on, but me being able to tap in to that, create that flow, allows me to be able to tap into the divine, and I can follow inspired actions in the epiphanies and light bulb moments. And then you get content that's different. You get content that people aren't talking about. Just imagine if I was overwhelmed, burdened, and working 12 hours a day. I probably wouldn't be able to follow my inspired actions. I probably wouldn't be able to really pay attention to my intuitive nudges. How can I? There will be too much going on. You really find the inspired actions and the intuitive nudges in solitude, in flow, in feminine energy. That's where you're going to find that at. That's where you're going to tap into that creativity so that you can have creative ideas and creative leanings. Since I've started putting myself first, receiving more, and stopped doing so much for others, I have so much more energy and satisfaction. Absolutely. And I'm not saying that if you have to do what you have to do. Okay. I'm not so far removed from life that I know that some women have to do what they have to do, but you're going to have to find time. If you want out and you know that you have bigger dreams, that there's something more for you, the only way you're going to get out is it's going to be in solitude that you open up your creativity. And in that creativity, you're going to get the ideas and the flow to be able to get out of that situation. So you're going to have to find time to be alone. I keep preaching for solitude. I'm not preaching for you to pull away from society. I'm preaching for you to take 1 to 2 hours out of your day. And if you ain't got an hour, baby, get 15 minutes. 15 minutes is more than enough for you to be able to tap into your creativity and open yourself up to creative ideas. It may be a creative idea that you take $5 and put it in something, or give it to someone, or have a conversation with someone, or go here and do this. And once you follow that, you may be able to get out of your current situation and open yourself up to a whole nother life, the life that you dreamed of. Women are resource multipliers, and you have this ability to do it for other people, other than just the other people, because women care and consider and love on others, and they leak energy. And what happens when they do that, they see other people accomplishing their dreams. And you have dreams too. And you haven't been able to do the things that you have dreamed about. You haven't been able to live the life that you want. And it's going to be through the power of creativity. You've already been utilizing the power of nurturing. You take something in, you receive it, you nurture it, you multiply it, and you give it back. And it's better than it was before. Now it's time to do that for yourself. I love and appreciate that you're showing us what feminine flow really looks like by how you show up here. It's so helpful because we are told to always show up, push through. And see, pushing through, showing up, and refusing to be in the flow. And in the flow is the overflow. Is when everything is, I ain't gonna say going wonderful, but everything is alignment. And then you're able to be in the flow. You're able to do the things that you've been called to do when you're in the flow. When you're in the flow and you're in peace, your creativity is there. That's where you're going to get these downloads of maybe going to speak to someone you've never spoken to, or maybe going to talk to someone that you haven't talked to in years, or maybe going to invest in something that you just saw in the paper, or maybe going to apply for something that you didn't think that you qualify for. That's where you're going to get your creativity. And it's going to lead you towards opening up and having the things that you desire. And every time that I've been open. I've went to God and like, God, I really want multiple streams of income. Or God, I really want to level up. Or God, I really want to have good friends in my life. Or God, I really need some help with this or whatever it is. And I just open myself up and I'm open to following my intuition, those intuitive nudges, those knowings that I get. And I just follow that. And that's how I was able to activate multiple streams of income. Most times people say, oh, I was able to open multiple streams of income because I worked hard. I did it by my sweat of my brow. I put in my 9 to 5. I'm going to tell you, I didn't open up any of my streams of income in that manner. All of them are very creative in the way that they happened and the way that they are. I think women find creativity, inspiration, and downloads for themselves all the time, but there's a worthiness problem, a people-pleasing problem, and a self-esteem problem that holds us back. Baby, you speaking a mouthful. All of that holds a woman back from being able to find her creativity, inspiration, and downloads. And then not feeling like that she's worthy, or it may seem silly, because sometimes I have found inspired actions can make you feel as though you're crazy. So maybe if you care about what people think, you might can't follow your inspired actions because maybe you're meant to go out here and speak to someone important, but they don't know you. And you might feel silly doing so. But if that's where you've been pulled to go, you need to follow that direction because there's going to be something that's going to come from that. But if you're not strong in yourself and who you are and feeling worthy of being able to have your dreams and being able to live the life that you desire, then you may pull back from doing any of that. And that's the reason why I built my page the way I built it, because I want women to deal with that and do the inner work so that you can have the things that you want in life. Because women are naturally resource multipliers. That's the reason why men are never going to leave you alone. Men understand the value of women and the power of women, even if the women don't understand the power of women. They understand how valuable it is when you're down to your last dollar and you have a woman that's encouraging you to keep going. They understand how important it is that when you are feeling like you're not good enough, having the support of a good woman is valuable. Men who understand the power of women, they understand this wholeheartedly. It's just women don't understand that power and understand the worth of that. They don't understand the value of that. They don't think that's anything. That's the reason why a lot of women are still fighting to bring something to the table and not understanding you bring a woman to the table. When you bring a woman to the table, it's valuable enough. When you bring a woman to the table, you bring value. That's valuable enough. But you have to understand the power of a woman and not get caught up in what the world says is valuable when it comes to women. Because the world is supposed to make you think that women are just like men. How can they get their value or get what they want from you if they trick you into believing you're just like men? You're not. Women and men are differently. Women and men are differently. And I'm just saying something like that can actually cause a storm on social media. That's wild to me. But women and men are differently. And that was by design. What he lacks, I have. What I lack, he has. Women and men are differently. But men who are successful, trust me, they understand the value of a woman. Well, I ain't gonna say successful. Men who are, striving for success, doing the work and put in the time to be successful, they understand the value of a woman. They understand that what she brings is more valuable than money because she is the money. She is the resource. She's the multiplier. Women are resource multipliers. Women have to understand two most important things in order to multiply your resources, your current resources, The power of nurturing and the power of creativity. The power of nurturing, you already do that probably unknowingly. You give care and consideration to others, you nurture and receive them, and you multiply what they give you. The power of creativity, you have to step in and do the inner work required, especially if you, just like myself, like I said, I went through a phase. I didn't ever think that I was creative. I thought for a very long time that I was not creative because I hadn't tapped into my own creativity. I hadn't tapped into what creativity is and how to utilize it. Now I understand that it's a power within you. You have creativity in your blood. It's in your veins. You're a resource multiplier as a woman. And when you tap into that creativity, no matter what problem comes or what situation happened or what you go through, you will have unlimited possibilities. There's no box that they can put you in once you tap into your creativity. I was reading the book Think and Grow Rich, and they had a whole chapter in there about how having women around will make a man richer and successful. Absolutely. Like I said, most men, understand the value of a woman. They're not ever going to be thinking or having these conversations about who and what brings what to the table. That's not even a conversation to be had. That's not even a normal conversation. That's social media. When a male doesn't understand a woman's value, run. He's going to ruin that woman. If they ask, what do you bring to the table? Run. Thank you. This was great. You're welcome. Absolutely. Agreed. Because when it comes to that, I've never talked about it because I feel like that's beneath me. But since you brought it up, why not? What do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table is just a way of trying to make sure you negate any issues or problem. And really, you're going to get to know that person over time. So you don't have to answer, or what do you bring to the table? That's the reason why it doesn't make sense, because most of the time when you get together with another person and y'all are getting to know each other, you're going to learn over time, who that person is. And that's essentially what they bring to the table. But when you hear people trying to have that conversation on the first date, or we're going to have that conversation immediately, this just means they're not available. They're not emotionally available. That's the reason why you should run. Because emotionally intelligent people, and they're available for relationship, they don't mind taking their time to get to know someone. It already shows that there's something going on. There's something going on when someone approaches you and immediately wants you to spill your guts on a date about who you are. So no, I wouldn't take it seriously, because in real life, people are not answering that question. In real life, people are not asking others that question. That's a social media question that just gets views and gets people talking. But women are resource multipliers. Women multiply resources through nurturing. They multiply resources through creativity, and tapping into that for yourself. You can, there's no box that anyone can put you in when you tap into that for yourself. Like, I know most of us want to make sure that we're nurturing and caring for our kids and caring for our loved ones, but you need to make sure that you have this activated for yourself also, that you're animating this energy for yourself so that you can have your dreams happen, so that you can have unlimited possibilities, so that you cannot be stuck in a box, that you can live the life that you desire. It's okay for you to be happy also, because I think there's a certain sector of, when it comes to being a woman, that women think that they don't have to be happy, that everybody else gets to be, but not them. And happy is like subjective, and probably not the best word to use in this conversation, because happiness is something you give to yourself. It's not something someone else gives to you. Yep, podcast pollutions. It is. It's a talking point. It's a talking point for people to go viral. Because I think every 3 to 5 business days it comes around. And it's just foolishness because most people who are want to operate in that way, they're emotionally unavailable. Women also multiply negative things and toxic things too. Hell have no fury like a woman scorn when a woman's fed up. Yes, they do. Absolutely. If, like I said, a woman can receive it, she nurtures it, she multiplies it, and then she gives it back. So if a woman is in a toxic situation, she is going to receive it, she's going to nurture it, she's going to multiply it, and then she's going to give it back to whoever is giving her that. Not sure if you address this, but do you think things like drugs, alcohol, bad eating habits, casual sex, etc., can negatively impact us multiplying? Yes. And let me explain myself. The reason I believe that it can negatively impact us multiplying is because some of those things you just mentioned can change our moods, can change our thoughts, can change the way we think and handle things. And when that is changed, that can affect us absolutely following our intuition or our creativity. Because think about it. Some people have, there's been some research talking about being on certain things like drugs, alcohol can affect you, can make you more creative. But do you want to be addicted or put on something in order to be creative when that's something natural that a woman has? So yes, I truly do believe that these things can negatively impact us because it can blur our thinking, our thoughts, our moods, and our feelings. And those things, our mood, thoughts, thinking, feelings, these things can affect how we feel about our creativity or even following inspired actions or even following or taking our epiphanies seriously. You may decide because you are doing these things and it makes you feel bad or makes you feel bad about yourself that you're not good enough to follow the inspired actions or that you may not feel worthy enough to follow your epiphanies or intuition. So yes, since those things can affect the body, can affect how we feel about ourselves, what we think about ourselves, the mood that we are in, that can affect us multiplying or even going after the things that we want. We may feel like we're not good enough. So great question, Daisy. Y'all having some wonderful questions. Jazz, definitely. NW, Daisy, all you all just having some wonderful questions today. I appreciate that. But yes, women are resource multipliers. We nurture things easily. We multiply it and give it back. That is the reason why men are always going to be around. Men understand the power and value of a woman. Even the ones who don't respect women understand the value and power of a woman so that they can take that energy that we're giving off naturally. I call it leaking energy. When we leak energy and give care and consideration to the wrong person, and that person is able to go out here and build themselves up off of it, or go out here and accomplish their dreams, or do things that they never even considered doing for themselves through the energy that we gave. Women are resource multipliers to their own creativity. Women can take, if women will really tap into their creativity, the situation that you currently have that you think that cannot be solved or that you can't get around or that it will not change, you tap in your creativity and I guarantee you will be able to get the inspired actions and intuitive downloads and epiphanies, and you will get a way out because the way out is within you. The way out is within you. You have this power within you that is undeniably woman. And when you take a hold of that, you can live a different life. You can live the life that you dreamed of. Instead of you imagining, thinking, and hoping that you can have the life that you want, tap into your creativity and get directions toward it. Everything that I have tapped in for and tapped into divine for, I've been able to follow those intuitive nudges and those downloads and those epiphanies that I've had. And they've all led me to having the thing that I wanted. The reason it's easier for women, because women are okay with the unseen. Women are okay with not having directions written down. They're okay with following those nudges, that knowing, that epiphany. They're okay with following that. And that's what helped women to multiply resources and multiply things that they come in contact with. Men can do this, but they just have a harder time because they're more about the facts, what's in front of them, what they can see. And every woman, at the sound of my voice, you are a resource multiplier. Stop just allowing other people to use you as a resource. Stop just allowing other people to use your energy to multiply their own resources when you can multiply your own. This is why there's a Barbara the Builder. This is why there's a starter wipe. It just clicked. Those are being used for their natural nurturing, multiplying resources. Let's build equal getting used. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, I'm so happy that women are starting to wake up and realize how valuable they are and starting to get an understanding of the power of a woman. When you start understanding the power of a woman, you will start utilizing it for yourself. And you will be very careful about allowing other people to utilize that power, allowing other people to utilize that energy. You're going to have boundaries for that now, so that you're not just leaking energy and giving everybody the ability to build off of your back. If there aren't any other questions, because I don't see anything else popped up, we already been up here a whole hour. I just want women to recognize and take back their power, the power that you're animating, that power of woman. You have that. Take that for yourself. The things that you desire, instead of feeling like you're stuck, you're not stuck. There's a way out. There's things that you can tap into that's internal, that's in your blood. You have creativity flowing through you. Tap into that. And then once you tap in, don't be scared to follow that intuition. You get that little bit of light bulb moments. You get those epiphany. Sometimes you get a pull to go and talk to someone, go and do this, go and say that. Follow it. And you will find that you're going to get yourself out of that situation. Or maybe you keep having the same problem over and over and over. You tap into creativity, you will have creative downloads. You have creative ideas. You don't ever have to be stuck on this plane. Everything that's in front of you that you can touch, everything can be manipulated. You have that power as a woman. And it's so much easier for you. I ain't saying men don't have that power, because they do. Because they also have that spirit too. They have a soul also. They have that power themselves. But it's a lot harder for them, because the things that they touch, the things that they see that they feel that that's the end. A woman can see, touch, and feel, and she feel and see possibilities. And that's what you have to do to be able to multiply your resources and multiply your circumstances and pull yourself out of things that you don't desire to be in. There is a way out. You're not stuck. You're not locked in. It's just the beginning. All right, so that is all I have for today. Thank you all for being here all the way to the end. Take the time to like the video, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye. Oh, girl, I was going to hit that button so fast. It's being silent when it's good if he's changing, but you don't contact him. If he's an ex, let him say ex. We don't go back to pick up trash. We don't go backwards. We only go forward. Like, if he's an ex, let him be an ex. I don't ever believe in going backwards, y'all. And it may not have been the best. They may not be the best for you. It depends. I don't know your full situation. I hate giving advice without knowing all the information, but I never go backwards. If I consider this person an ex, I'm not going to ever go backwards and to see how it's going to go again, because he's an ex for a reason. You broke up with that person for a reason, or he broke up with you for a reason. And if he broke up for you for a reason, let it stay done. Let it stay done. So being silent has nothing to do with it. I would let that man go and release him with love and light and keep it moving. I don't give exes second chances. That's my advice for today. I see y'all on the next one. Y'all have a good one.